influencing popular culture, politics, and everything in between. The local station takes you ringside as we discuss the crazy world that is professional wrestling. This is Going Ringside with the local station.
Hello there, and thank you for joining us again for Going Ringside. I'm your host, Scott Johnson, and boy, do we have a major guest alert on this very episode. Bianca Belair and Montez Ford, WWE megastars, the it couple of the industry, are here on Going Ringside. We'll be getting to them in just a few minutes, so I appreciate you joining us for this great episode. So excited that Bianca and her husband Montez joined us on the show today. Before we move forward, though, I want to talk to you about last week's episode. You may want to go check it out in the archives right now. Matt Riddle was here. Matt Riddle, kind of a bad boy who left WWE almost exactly a year ago, and he didn't pull any punches when he talked to me about some thoughts on different people in this industry, like, say, Seth Rollins, like Bill Goldberg, like Randy Orton. Go check it out right now. Last episode, we had Matt Riddle on, great guest, and a little later on, Victoria Crawford, formerly Alicia Fox in WWE, is back with us. We're going to talk a little to her about both Bianca Belair and her husband Montez Ford, and also what it means to them to be part of reality television that WWE has produced. Obviously, Montez Ford and Bianca Belair do the Love in WWE. They have put their lives out there as a married couple in the reality television format. Well, Victoria Crawford, years ago, was on the old WWE reality show. That would be Divas, with all the divas back in the day. She was one of the cast members on there. She's going to talk to us in depth about what it's like to star in a WWE reality series. How that came about. It involved the Bella twins. You want to hear about that a little later on in the show. So Victoria, a.k.a. Alicia Fox, will join us a little later on. But first, we are excited to be joined here by Bianca Belair and Montez Ford. So a little backstory. I was down at the WWE Performance Center in Orlando. We're doing a lot of coverage with WWE about their debut on October 1st of NXT. Primetime broadcast television. NXT is moving to CW. We are going to be having a lot of the big stars coming up every week. Everyone from Trick Williams to Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid himself, will be on the show in coming weeks. So look for that. But I wanted to start it with Bianca Belair and Montez Ford, as they were so nice to talk to me. And we talk about a few things, including all the changing media landscape for WWE, which includes NXT, SmackDown, Raw. We talked to Bianca a little about working with Jade Cargill. We talked to Montez Ford about some issues he's having with the bloodline. And I think most importantly, we talk about their love story, which started where we shot this interview. So listen to it. Thanks for joining us today. So let's get to the interview you all wanted to see. Here is, as I call them, WWE's it couple, Montez Ford and Bianca Belair. Well, we are here with the it couple of really the century at this point, I think is how we're going right now. Montez Ford, Bianca Belair, thank you for joining us on the show today. What is up with you guys right now? What is going on in life?
What is going on in life is the CW.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
it
what
is
we're here.
huge. Do you think this is a big deal for the company?
It's a massive deal. We've been dealing with Fox and USA for years. But now we're going to the CW. This is a whole new set of eyes. This is a whole new set of land. This is a whole new set of opportunities for this new set of NXT roster, WWE or NXT superstars.
Yeah, we're very excited. You know, NXT is going to CW. They're going on the road, and it's an amazing group of talent here. It's very diverse. They're from all different backgrounds. So I think it's a new era. We were a part of NXT when NXT went to USA Live for the first time. So it's a new transition of NXT going to CW, and they get to put their stamp on it. So when you think of this era, you're going to think of this roster, and there's no better roster than to showcase the talent of NXT on CW to this whole new fan base.
When you guys did NXT, was it here or was it else? It was here?
It was here, but the building was very different.
Yes.
When we come back here to the Performance Center, it feels like home.
Yes.
But this building behind us didn't exist.
No.
It's evolved. It's grown. We were over in the other building, so it's really cool to come back and feel like we're home, but see that it's evolved.
Were you two a couple at this point, or tell me about the timeline there?
What a time it was.
Yeah.
So I arrived on the scene in NXT in 2015.
Okay.
And my beautiful wife, soon to be, arrived on the scene in 2016. So in that first year, I was in NXT in developmental, learning myself as an individual, either WWE superstar, and then I eventually got put on my right-hand man, 100 grand now, Angelo Dawkins with the Street Profits at the end of that year. But around 2016 is when she came on the scene, and that's when we were both in NXT.
Is that how you two met? Was
Yes.
here?
We met here in NXT.
Yes, in
so
NXT.
NXT is not just like close to our heart because of wrestling. It's close to our heart because we met each other. So our life started in wrestling and NXT, and our life started together here in NXT.
Yes.
So
And did it start slow or did it start fast?
it started
pretty
fast.
fast.
It did start fast.
Yes.
1,000 miles an hour.
Just like wrestling,
Just like
everything goes
wrestling.
fast and
Everything's
comes fast. We came together very quickly.
And obviously NXT, CW, Netflix,
Yes.
SmackDown moving around. What's kind of the mood in the locker room? You're in all the different locker rooms. Is there excitement among the company right now?
It's excitement just for, like, the roster is so diverse with so many backgrounds, so many athletic backgrounds, so many different cultures, and now we have so many brand new set of eyes that can now see these talents being displayed to the world. So it's a very exciting time, and the atmosphere in the locker room is like, it's like a hunger type of anxious, just wanting to go out there, and everyone's trying to bring their A game, and all the performances and the matches are always hitting out the park because everyone's so eager to show the world like what we have been doing for years on these other networks, but now what we're doing to these new networks.
Yeah.
And during a break last night at NXT, they put up on the big screen you and Jade Cargill, I think, doing the Hot Wings Challenge. What was that like?
It was spicy. We neither one of us do hot things, but it was very fun. You put two of the most competitive people together doing something that we didn't have any business doing, but it was very spicy. It was very hot, but we had a very good time. But that's why we're excited that we're in a new era where NXT is going to CW and SmackDown is going to USA and Raw is going to Netflix. So with that comes a lot of bigger opportunities and crossovers to mainstream, and you get to do things like Hot One. So that's why we're excited.
And how's the partnership with Jade been going?
It's good. I feel like we're still growing as a tag team. You take two people who are so used to being in the singles picture and you put them together. So right now we're just trying to make it a collaboration. It's not a time for competition, it's a time for collaboration, and you put Jade Cargill and Bianca together on the same team. We're unstoppable right now, but we're trying to form this amazing tag team and elevate this tag team division. And I think that we're on to something amazing right now. We're just getting started.
And Street Profits still strong?
Always. And the mission is always at hand to eliminate the bloodline and to finally get back to WWE Tag Team Championships.
Eliminating them's been a pain.
Oh, you know what? It's been a 4-year pain. But it's going to come to an end, and we're going to finally get back what's been holding us back the entire time, which is the bloodline. Because you see the timelines kind of like resonate and they line up. Street Profits haven't been WWE Tag Team Championships in almost 4 years, and then with the bloodline for 4 years. It seems like that's the vein in the problem. So eliminate the bloodline and get back to gold.
WWC couple, thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you so much for having us.
Well, I appreciate Montez Ford and Bianca Belair talking to me. That was so great. We're joined, of course, by Victoria Crawford, our media partner here, formerly Alicia Fox back in the day. So I was excited to talk to them. We were down there for the CW shoot because NXT is coming to CW, which is a big deal. And we talked to a lot of them. We're going to bring them to you. Montez Ford, Bianca Belair, Shawn Michaels will join us, and a lot of the NXT stars in coming weeks. Look for it. But I want to ask you, first off, Montez Ford and Bianca Belair, they're like the it couple in WWE. Is that kind of like good for the company to have like this married couple that's the face of the franchise?
It's good for them. It's good for the
yeah.
couple, yeah. Professionally, I think so. I mean, because you kind of got a good team that will work for the art, and then they have each other. So the part of that job is the culture. It's like on the road, so it is kind of maybe they'll just get better superstars out of them, I guess. I don't know.
Bianca's really taken off though.
Yeah, Bianca's
like
great.
just insanely huge.
Yeah. She's won lots of weightlifting championships and really decorated champion. And those things really translate to the audience because we're such an interactive business,
So when her and I think it was kind of her, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch, kind of were they the big three that took off like around 2015? What was that like for the women's division when you were there and you'd been divas and then it went more toward the women's division and you see it take off? What did that mean for you, for the women?
Oh, wow. Well, it definitely meant more TV time.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what year Bianca got in, but in 2015, that seems to be like when we were doing reality TV, like not Diva Search, but Total Divas.
And we're going to talk about that in a second.
Yes,
yeah. So, but there's a lot of focus on the women.
Yes, there was a ton of focus because, you know, there was like this big movement called Give Divas a Chance, and it was kind of in that new social media break with Twitter and everything, so we were really able to elevate our voices. And in that timeline, The Office took recognition and then kept gifting us more TV time, more stipulations in our matches, more TV time. With more TV time, you can tell about her story.
I want to back up. You said Twitter, which I've never asked you about. What was it like when social media took over wrestling? Because it used to be you were on TV and you met fans at conventions, then you start interacting with them, good or bad.
Good or bad.
I'm sure
good
it was
or
both.
bad.
What was that like for you when the wall between fan and talent happens and they can interact with you? What was that like?
Oh, for me, it was good and bad. Like you said, I had a pretty positive response. Like, I feel as though my fans are very much like me. They're pretty like social and interactive. They're not like anything other than myself.
Yeah.
However, them having such close proximity to the feedback, it changed myself as a performer because I kind of knew how to give them what they wanted for the time that I had available.
Really?
I believe so. I mean, I tried to.
Did any of the other divas or female wrestlers, did they have problems with it? Because I could see it being an issue.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's like so many other parts of it. You know, I've had a growth spurt during my career, and that was kind of interesting to experience, like old clips or old things being brought into social sphere. And then in that weird timeline, we were doing Total Divas, which is also a mirror of what we've got going on in our professional life. So a lot of my crazy character was literally a branch out of what I was experiencing in real life, which reflecting back on it, I'm happy it's over. But
well, I want to back up. So how did I want to talk about reality because Bianca Belair and Montez Ford did Love in WWE. It's been a big thing for WWE to branch out of just wrestling TV shows and do stuff like this. For you, for Total Divas, how did they come to you? How does this even come about?
Well, the show was brought to WWE, and so us girls took turns being featured as characters on Total Divas, you know, and then there were some girls that had the full-time WWE, no real interaction in that new platform.
Was it on E! television?
It was on E!
Okay.
Yes. And the goal was to really just reach a larger audience in that mainstream, in that women demographic, bring more eyes to female wrestling, bring more awareness that we see you, because there's a lot of women that are finding their way into the industry, and with more visibility, they're able to get the information they need to participate, you know.
So how did they come to you? Like, how did it start? So you're wrestling your matches, you're going around. What happened?
So then the Bella twins came back.
Oh, it was the Bellas?
Yes,
Okay.
so the Bellas brought Total Divas to us, and I think because it's a reality TV show, none of us had any
Were they
idea.
doing it already at that point?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think, you know, like, you know, in entertainment and TV, you can go pitch shows, pitch ideas. And I guess this idea was pitched proper, and they were like, yeah, let's go for it. So we all kind of got to interact in their project. You know, they were able to invite select girls. The first, I think my season was season 3. So between 1 and 3, I was watching this new programming take shape and take life, and bringing more women to the shows, bringing more young women to the shows. And it became kind of like a mommy thing, mommy-daughter, like, date thing, you know? Yeah, so I guess
did WWE, like, call you in an office, like the manager? Or
Oh,
did
so you want
or did
the juicy
Bella, I want
details.
the juicy details.
Okay.
Well, I mean, to tell you that they were going to do this show.
You know, every season it would conclude, all of us girls would try to be on our best behavior to be candidates for the show.
So they wanted to get on. It was
yeah,
a good thing
we
to
were
be on.
trying to get on, you know, because we believed that if we had more TV time, we could be better storytellers, you know, bring in more money for ourselves.
Yeah.
Because too, being on the road, wrestling has its own physical contribution that we give. So this just seemed like a better opportunity for that moment, or to hybrid the two. So what happened was, I eventually season 3 got in, and then myself and Paige, or Soraya at AEW, my girlfriend and I got picked up about the same season, and we just had naturally a great friendship, and so they just wanted to know more about that life, you know, and so then we were able to tell our life story. And
how often were cameras on you?
Every minute. every minute. But for about 3 months at a time. And then I think there was like a little bit of a month like down, and then we were still full-time moving around. But then, you know,
was it hard to have a personal life during that?
I was just about to say about my personal life. Yeah, it was. Like, I filmed with one person I was dating back in the day, and it was, I don't remember if I knew it was a train wreck before then, you know, but I shared it on that platform, and, you know, it was relatable to a lot of women, but it's funny because this is an example of like, oh man, when wrestling and social media collided, it was like moments like this, that days like this, I'm like, oh.
Really?
But in a positive way of knowing that, oh, okay, that's just whatever. Like, that's growth. That's like what, you know, I was doing in my life, right? But in the moment, it seemed so so much pressure, so many eyes, so many things, and that's kind of the part I'm trying to express. But it's kind of
so. A lot of reality television is confrontation. Did you deal with that at all on Total Divas?
We did. We tried to find resolution, you know, like, because our business is really based on respect. So it was really difficult to have conflict with these girls when we had to wrestle each other still, you know. But I'll just tell you some juicy things. There are certain storylines that have suggested character elements, you know, like maybe leave, slam the door, throw a drink on someone, you know, those little in-between storytelling moments, which makes the big blow-off or the big resolution even sweeter, you know. But for the most part, all of us girls really do our best to get along. I mean, we do fight, you know, but a lot of what I realize now, not being on the road so much, is what were we fighting for? What I think we're fighting for is a lot of the whole picture for our industry, and a lot of what we felt we needed out of that experience, you know, and that makes it such an individual experience. You know, that's why I still feel like a wrestler, even though I'm not under contract today. Mm-hmm. And that was a humbling experience, but that obviously isn't being filmed on a reality TV show, but I'll tell you now, that's a show. Yeah. I'm just kidding.
Well, Victoria, thank you again for joining us on this episode, and thank you to Montez Ford and Bianca Belair for joining us as well, and we will see you back here next time on Going Ringside.
This has been Going Ringside with The Local Station, brought to you every Wednesday on your favorite podcast player, on News4Jax Plus, as well as the News4Jax YouTube channel.